Hey guys, Meopsing here. Today we're doing some more Willing chat. I'm with my friend Lynx.
Hey guys, sorry about the past 2 weeks. We had a lot going on, and William just doesn't know how to record the podcast.
Yes, I didn't goof. So today we're actually going to be starting off with just an introduction to kind of us. We didn't really do that the first episode, which we probably should have. Not thinking about that, but
Yeah,
I'm gonna go ahead and start off.
I think it's a good
So
idea. Oh, sorry. Just
no,
because,
no, it's fine.
just because, I don't know. For our viewers, you get to know us a little bit more, and you get to know who William is, and who cares about Lincoln, but you get to know who William is and his cool family history.
Yeah. So name is William, right? I'm a
What's your full
very
name, William?
no. I'm not gonna go into that.
Why not? Okay,
No.
okay,
I'm just gonna be vague about my identity.
okay.
But I will reveal certain facts. I'm moving my arms around while saying this, but you can't see it. But pretty much a little bit about me is I'm a nice Hispanic man. There you go, non-destructing. I'm really into history. I like historical things like battles, wars, peoples, events, stuff in the past that really intrigued me like that. I'm really into feudalism, which is kind of weird, but it's my jam.
Like
So,
Japan, or
well,
specifically?
there's medieval, and then there's there's even like Chinese feudalism, kind of. So, just feudalism, wherever it
I
may reign.
know. I know what you're into. I was just asking so people could know.
I mean, I'm fine pretty much anywhere where there's warlords involved in history. I'm pretty interested because like the struggle for power and like building up from like a small thing into a big thing, kind of like the Roman Empire, how it starts as just like this little thing and then gets really
Yeah.
big. Yeah, so it's kind of like that. Yeah, my family comes from Guatemala, Central American country. If you guys don't know, it's very rich with history, and it's one of the places that went when the conquistadors came over when they went to Mexico. They just went down to Guatemala from there. So it's pretty cool.
That is cool.
So how about
Um,
you?
no, I'm not done. I have some questions for you, William,
Oh, okay.
that
Go
I
ahead and
may
ask
or
me
may
these
not
questions.
already know.
Go ahead and
Um,
ask them. I'm ready.
so you're religious, right?
Yes,
So that's a big part of your life, as it
yeah,
is with me.
for sure.
And I don't know. I just kind of want to get into this because I think it's interesting. Um,
Go ahead.
so Guatemala is
Yes.
a Catholic place, right?
So
No,
yes and no,
and then
because there's a lot of
Protestant,
yes. It's
you're
like
right.
Catholic and Protestant mix.
But that leads you into having some cool stories, like with your grandfather, and
Oh yeah, get some.
a little bit of like, um, I don't know how to say this, like spirits, you
Yes,
know?
there's some. I'm gonna
Would you
call them
like,
horror
would you,
stories.
would you like to tell one of those stories?
Oh yeah, man. So there's
Okay.
this. Best way to describe it is this horse spirit demon thing. Best way to describe it, I guess. The Eliguab Suguaba. I'm pretty sure how you say it. Now it's pretty much this woman who she looks like a woman, very pretty, from behind. But then when she turns around, she got a horse head. Don't want to look at that horse head. Your soul's gonna be just taken. That's an old uh, Central American tale. But my grandfather, or is my great grandfather, one of them was in Guatemala, right? Was
Yeah.
going down this like trail with like his wagon, and pretty much he sees this person crying on the road. He's just going, and all of a sudden he sees this woman. He's a good Christian man. So of course he says, "Are you okay, lady?" This and that, and she's crying, and she's like, look at my face. My grandfather is not a fool, so he doesn't. But then when he's on his cart, for some reason, he's like tensed up, and he can't move. And so she keeps trying to get him to look at his face. He's closing his eyes, He's not looking. He's trying not to. And he's pretty much stuck there, but through what he says, like the power of God and such, he's able to move, and he just gets his horses to just go. And then he just goes. So he survived that, but it's pretty scary. When I went to Guatemala, actually, someone was saying, because I was staying at this like hotel thing. I didn't tell you this, Lincoln, but when I was there, one of the guards that was there, the Suguaba, is a creature that people actually see all the time, but it doesn't necessarily mess with everyone. So, like, a security guard.
What specific people does it target?
I don't know who specifically it targets, but it definitely, I'm pretty sure, goes after males for the most part. But yeah, there's a security guard guy. And usually, if you don't mess with it, it won't necessarily mess with you. He just lets it walk by. He's just like, he's a security guard, but he just lets it walk by. Because, like, there's two ways to survive it, technically. Because I think, go to the border between Guatemala and El Salvador, and you buy, like, a machete. Or, there's one other thing. But pretty much, if you can get away from it, or you don't mess with it, you'll be fine. But it does try to steal your soul, though. It's a demon, so, it does its thing.
That is, I don't know. I'm really interested by that story. I like when William tells that story. I always think it's really cool because it's just, like, so weird. Like, I'm not a big believer in ghosts and stuff. That's just not who I am. I mean, I kind of do, but actually, it's not a ghost. I do believe in spirits, so I take everything I said back. But like, I never have I guess I'm just too white. My family doesn't have a good enough history to have stuff like that, so that's always intriguing to me.
Even more stories like that.
I know. If you guys really want to hear an episode of Guatemalan Tales, I know William already knows a lot of them, but William and I will do some research on Guatemala, like legends and stuff, and we'll talk about them to you. And maybe William will have more stories about his family on him.
Yeah, I got tons.
So William, what are things you like to do on every day? It's not like, I like brushing my teeth. On
an everyday basis. Oh no, I love brushing my teeth. Brush my teeth 20 times a day.
Or eating food. I like eating food every day. Well,
I'm glad
you like
3 times a day, man.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but like I said, I'm really into history, so I like looking at history stuff. I do like, watching stuff on YouTube or playing video games. I'm one of those people, and I like recording for YouTube, obviously. But, I like to go on walks and look at nature and stuff like that, even though it sounds generic. I like the way nature looks. Go at me for that. But, I think the perfect atmosphere is when you're outside and it's like a cold day, but the sun's shining. And you just can lay down and enjoy that. It's the best blend of temperature.
We live in Florida, so our cold days are about 60.
Hey, man, it can get colder than that. Remember that one time it was like 30?
That one, yeah.
Yeah, that one time. No, that actually happens a pretty decent amount.
I know, in the winter. And I don't know why. I will always say this, but the humidity is one of the worst things in Florida. Yeah. I love it, but I hate it because it can be 90 here and feel hotter than it is out west when it's 100 and something. Just because of the humidity. Yeah. Because
remember one time. Oh, sorry, I'll let you finish.
Because even when you're in the shade, it's still just as hot. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. one time I remember it was like 90 something, right? But the
Yeah.
humidity made it feel like over 100, and it was like, bro, this is too much. Because it can
Yeah,
get too hot here.
it gets really hot, and I know like a lot of countries, like not specifically Americans, but they're like, why do you always leave your air conditioner running? And like, it's because we live in Florida. Like,
Yeah,
if
you
you
can
don't
never
have
turn
your
it
air,
off.
yeah, except in the winter when we personally have a fireplace at my house,
We
and we
have one.
use the
I haven't used
fireplace.
it in years.
So, you like history, you like
Yeah.
feudalism in specific. Um, I will say I've known William for a few years now, and William has one of the best memories. Like I know, like it's not like photographic memory, but it's like William did a presentation one time on anything related to history. He has a really good memory. Uh, that doesn't always carry over to like math or science.
Yeah.
No offense,
Rip.
William.
Yeah, no.
But I'm not saying he's bad at math or science. I'm just saying his memory is really good with history. Um, so like he did a presentation. Let me think of what it was.
It was. I already know
It,
what you're talking about. You want to remind you? Because I
yeah,
remember.
it was on a person, wasn't it? Or was it on a country? No, okay, it was on the Vikings, right?
No, that was when I talked about the show.
Oh, okay.
Vikings. I did
Yes.
a. I'm pretty sure the one you're referring to is the 5 minute speech we had to do, and I did it on Caesar Augustus.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so William walks up there. Everybody, it's like one of the first speeches, so everybody has their note cards and it's just like looking at their note cards. William takes his note card before he walks up, puts it in his pocket, and stands there and just tells his whole speech. And I'm like, what the heck just happened?
Yeah,
It was pretty
pretty good
cool.
at that stuff. I even remember what the speech was about. I
That's
could
ridiculous. I don't
like
remember any
it's
of my
like
speeches except the one about me.
I don't even remember that one.
Uh,
Actually, I remember the Caesar
it's because
Augustus.
it's not history. I guess
Hey,
it kind of is history, but it's not written.
important,
No,
right?
no, not that's not what I'm saying at all. It's not like written in the textbook. You read it about like
Yeah,
that stuff. You honestly, you're kind of like, yeah, myself, history, yeah.
yeah.
What do you think the benefits are of learning history for people that I know a lot of people are like history sucks. There's why do we have to learn it? Like I don't know that's not
Yeah.
like a lot of people that like are grown up, but like a lot of younger people are like history sucks. Why do we have to learn it? What
Well,
do you think the
there's the
benefits
basic
are?
thing of, know your history, you're doomed to repeat it, and, stuff like that. But honestly, it just kind of gets you richer with your culture,
That's very
Like, if
true.
you look at specific histories, I'm very proud of my heritage. So
I
I'm always looking at history for that stuff. And so it makes me feel more in touch with the past, more related, you know?
Assassin's Creed.
Oh,
That's what
yeah,
you're
Assassin's Creed
referring
is my
to.
heritage. Yes.
No,
I've
you're
done
just like
many a research on Italy through Assassin's Creed 2.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, I personally would probably be more into that stuff. But my parents were like, "Don't get a DNA test done. The government's going to use that in the future to do
Oh,
whatever."
yeah, man.
And so like
I'm a
this,
minority. I'm done, man.
so I'm like debating on whether to save my money for a PS5, which I don't even know if I'm going to buy, or if I'm going to get a DNA test, which that's only like $100. But
Yeah,
like,
it's definitely a lot cheaper than a PS5. Plus, if there,
yes,
you need to wait for there to be like a deal where it's like,
that's true.
oh, like on Thanksgiving or something, they'll give out deals
That's
like where it's
probably
like
true.
20% cheaper or something.
Yeah, that would be cool. And then we can talk about it. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm trying to think of any more questions to ask you, just in general. Like, do you have a brother? Do you have
Yes. See.
any other? Do you have
Oh no.
dogs?
2 doggos. Pairs.
Any other animals?
No. I had a fish
Don't mention
for a
stories
while.
about your dead animals.
Oh man, there was a dark rainy day.
No, no, you don't
And
want
then
to. You don't want to ruin people's moods.
okay. Well, I
All
think
right,
we've talked
you
about me
got.
enough.
No, you didn't say your brother. No, you don't have to say your brother's name. You have one
Yeah, I don't have
brother
to
and
say
you
that.
have two dogs. All
Yes,
right,
two
so
doggos.
I guess I'll tell a little bit
Yes,
about
tell us
myself.
about you.
Since William's a good Hispanic kid, or a nice Hispanic kid, or whatever he said, I'm a just a regular white kid, I guess.
I think Irish specifically. He's one of those British twats.
Well, this is the weird thing. Oh, I'm not gonna say my last name.
You don't have to say last name, but it's
My
pretty Irish.
last name is like Irish, but the reason I have that last name is because my great grandfather, or my great great grandfather was adopted and was given that last name.
Mm.
So I actually don't know if I probably am Irish because I don't know. A lot of my family members kind of look Irish, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah,
Interesting, isn't it?
I
That's why
mean,
I want to find out more
you look
about
pretty
myself.
Irish, though. Just want to say.
Thanks, William. Well,
Yeah,
you look pretty white
yeah, yeah.
for being a Hispanic person.
Hey, man. Technically, Hispanic just means you speak Spanish or you're from a Spanish country. I'm actually a Latino, though,
Oh,
just so you
really?
know. Yeah, but I'm a Latino, which means you're related, like your ethnic origins are from somewhere in Central America or South America.
That's
Yeah, I'm
cool.
a Latino. But
Well,
I got that Italian side too, though, from mom.
yeah, Italian, like the gene pool is like really dominant for some reason.
Yeah, my brother's actually more Italian than me.
It's weird how like the gene pool disperses or is
Well, you see, DNA is very interesting
yeah.
because sometimes it'll even skip a generation. Or
Yeah,
like
it is interesting.
example is my grandma had like some Sardinian in her, which that's like an island off the coast of
I haven't even heard of
Italy.
that place.
Yeah, it's near Sicily. You ever heard of Sicily?
I have heard of Sicily, yes.
Yeah, it's near there. And um, she had like I don't know something percent of it, and then my dad didn't get it, but I have some.
What the heck? That's weird.
And then like an example of this is my mom has like 3% Cyprus, which is a place right next to the Middle East
Hmm.
because I'm Middle Eastern kind of also.
It's
And
like an
I
ancient
have
place, isn't it? Or is that Cyprus still a thing?
Cyprus is an island. Yeah,
Um,
it's still a thing. It was owned
okay.
by the Turks, the Romans, the Byzantines. It's pretty much Turks. But yeah, it's been owned by a lot of people, so there's kind of a lot of stuff going on there. I have more. I have like 9% Cyprus in me. My mom has like 3%. So I tripled
Wow.
hers.
That's how does that work? That's so weird.
Well, you see, when you think about it, DNA is like any other gene. There's recessive that pops up every generation and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
so like you have your full DNA code, it's just what reveals itself, right?
Yeah, it kind of just picks and chooses what you
That's
get.
so crazy. So basically you have, if I'm hearing you correctly, like I'm not an expert on
I'm
DNA, so I'm
more
just like,
Middle Eastern than my mom.
no, like, so you have basically like every single, uh, so even if it skips a generation, you still have that.
Yeah, you still have it in you.
Oh,
It
that's
just there's
crazy.
not like a prominent. It doesn't show up prominently in your DNA, but you
That's
are in
crazy.
fact still that. Like my brother, for some reason, got all the British and Scottish. I didn't get a single bit, and so like I'm none of that. But of course, it's still through my DNA. My kids could have it, you know.
That's awesome. That's really cool to think about. Sorry. I guess I should talk about myself.
Yeah, probably.
Um,
Hmm.
what am I, what is cool about me? Or what would people like to know?
Let's see
Um,
here.
I guess a little
Let's.
bit about my family. My mom grew up on an alligator farm in Florida.
See, that's actually really cool, though.
So my grandfather, up until a few years ago, had alligator that he raised from an egg, and it was just 14 and a half feet, and I don't know how many pounds, but it was the biggest one in Florida for a long time. It's still
Hey,
alive, and you can see it. His name is Old Amos. Old, like I think I believe it's spelled OLE, and then I couldn't tell you how to spell Amos. You're just gonna have to figure that out if you want to look it up. Um, so that's pretty cool. So basically, animals are a big part of my life. My family's constantly like rescuing animals or saving animals or helping animals. So we typically have a lot of animals. Um, and my dad's side, my dad um, was born in Florida, moved to Georgia, lives in Nashville, lived all over the country, which is he's crazy. Like he's not crazy. It's crazy because like he'll talk about stuff and I'll be like, I never knew that when he talks about it. Um,
yeah, that kind of happens with my dad also, because he doesn't tell me about when he was young.
yeah, so that's weird that dads do that, isn't it?
Yeah.
But one thing about my grandfather on my mom's side, he had like multiple wives, so I have like
Oh,
multiple grandmas. Like he had like seven.
why? Why did he have multiple
Uh,
wives? Was he
no,
Mormon?
not at the same time. Like just in
Oh,
general.
oh, I thought it was like, oh,
No, no, I'm not Mormon.
okay. I
Um,
was like,
so like he would have a wife and be like, "Oh no, I can get a different wife," and then be like, "Oh no." So my grandma, my actual grandma, is not alive today, but I have multiple grandmas.
he was a
That
heartbreaker.
I guess so. So I have like weird family things, like just weird family structure in general going on. I mean, I'm from the South, so it's bound to
Oh,
happen.
no,
Um,
no, don't say it like that.
not like that, but like
Don't,
just
yeah,
weird.
yeah, yeah, specify.
Yeah, and yeah, not like that, but like the sense of like you have like a large family, right? And it's just really complicated. Like as in terms of it's never like, oh, there's peace. It's just like, oh, this person is not liking this person, this person. But that's it, every family, really, I guess. Now I'm thinking about it. Um,
What's your
so
favorite subject in school?
favorite subject. I used to really like history a lot. Um, specifically, I do not like American history that much, just because it's been like ingrained in my mind for so long, and it's just not. I guess we as Americans do have a rich history, right?
Yeah,
But I like ancient history more than anything. I'm not my abilities or my memory, it's not as good as William's. William can remember stuff from like specific dates. It's just ridiculous, but I do like learning about history, but I would have to say I am beginning to like um it just depends. I don't really know.
science, like
I do
science.
like science. I don't like chemistry,
Yeah,
really.
chemistry's a bit
Um,
rough.
I do like how things occur, but I do think the scientific community is too closed off to specific things. Particularly
Hmm.
religion is one of them because
I believe they can coexist. You know.
um, I believe that too. I just think scientists don't like hearing that there's an overarching factor. They'd rather discover it themselves. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I think it takes the same amount of faith to believe in the things they believe as the things I believe, right? Because
Hmm.
faith is believing in something you don't know. Um, but that could be argued or whatever. But I do like science. I think it's fascinating. I like physics. which is like how the world works and whatnot. But history is probably my go-to.
Is there a specific area you don't like American? But
So, I guess it's religious history. I like hearing about different religions, specifically like ancient religions. Like, I know Roman and Greek are like the same. Um, Nordic, so like Thor, Odin, like Norse
yeah,
mythology or Egyptian mythology. I just like hearing that stuff. Um,
one thing that turns me off from the Egyptians is there's so many. I can't remember. Even I can't remember all the gods. There's
I
just so many.
Yeah, there is. It's so confusing too because there's like I don't know. Religion is like there's multiple stories because it's been passed down. So all the stories are different depending on the area. And since Egypt was a huge place, there'll just be like multiple versions of stories, which is kind of complicated.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting for sure. I also like psychology. I like thinking why people think what they think, why people do what they do. I just think that's interesting. Some specific hobbies I like. I don't really know.
He likes animals.
I
There
do
you
like
go.
animals. We have a baby squirrel right now.
What?
Yeah, we have a baby squirrel right now.
How the
My
heck would
Yeah,
you
my mom
catch one and
saved.
cage it?
You want me to like tell you the story?
Sure.
So I wasn't there. I was at work. My mom at my grandfather's house. There's a donkey and there's a dog that just walks around outside, and then is brought in at night. So the donkey is just braying. So if you don't know what braying is, like horses neigh, but it's like them talking. So braying is the equivalent for a donkey. Like it's like making the donkey noise. It
Okay.
keeps hollering, and then you just hear these like really high pitched like squeal. And the dog is try. It was a rainy day, as it is in Florida, like almost every day for like an hour. Um, and the dog is trying to cover something up in the mud. So my mom goes over and picks up the squirrel, and it has a bunch of like mud in it, like inside of it, like its nose is full of mud, and it's just like
Oh, the
muddy
dog was
everywhere.
like
Trying to
burying it.
bury it alive because it was like
Oh,
freaked out by it or something.
yeah.
Um, and so my mom cleaned it up, gave it some like type of steroid from the vet or whatever, and now we just have a baby squirrel. And
How are you gonna keep that though? They're very
well, it's not
mobile,
it's not like
climb
a
and stuff.
pinky. It's not like a pinky or whatever. It's about 4 weeks old, just because it started opening its eyes.
Ah,
Yesterday I think is when it opened its eyes for the first time. So it's about 4 weeks old. So you just get like a syringe, like a tiny syringe, and you put milk in it, and it eats out of that, and then you do other things um
are
that
you
I
guys
don't.
gonna like release it one day or keep it as
Yeah,
long as you can?
we should release it. The thing about squirrels, we've had multiple squirrels,
What?
and
First I'm hearing that.
really,
Yeah.
and I don't like them. They're mean. They do this thing where like they're really nice with my mom, but they want to protect her, right? Because they think it's like their mother or whatever.
hmm
So they go and their tail goes up and down, and then they attack you. So this is
Oh,
actually a funny story. We had one. I think it was. They're all named nuts. So we had like pecan. Now we have almond, joy, and we had almond before that or whatever. Um, and just different nut names. We had about 5 squirrels. I think one died
did you
because
name
it.
one Acorn?
No, not yet. We named one
Wow.
Cashew. I'm trying to remember the other ones.
Is there a
So
peanut?
no.
Wow, I'm just naming all the nuts that you don't a squirrel named after.
Well, we don't have a William either. That's one nut we don't
Oh,
have.
you gotta roast me like that. You call me crazy?
Um,
Huh?
maybe just a little bit. Okay, so like Mom was like one day, "Why are you guys getting so freaked out about these squirrels or whatever? It's not. They're so nice." And like it cuddled with my mom at night and stuff. And I go in there and she's like, "Here." I go in there with a towel over my head so it can't get me because it will bite you. And I go
Yeah.
in there and she's like, "Just take the towel off. It will be nice." The thing jumps off of like because it's like a squirrel, so it like jumps from thing to thing. So just imagine like dresser, like TV stand and stuff. It jumps all around the room, comes to me, bites me in the head, bites me in the neck, jumps off, and then like chitters at me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I hate this squirrel.
Would your mom think about that?
She was like, "Oh, it does bite you," and I was like, "Mom, yeah, it does bite me. I've been telling you this."
Man.
Yeah,
But
but I like
is there
superheroes.
superheroes.
And I
Yes.
like watching movies. Movies. Um, I'm not always like I'm not anyone that can like quote a movie. Like I'm not like that or watches them like 20 million times to try to be like that. I'm just one that's like
Enjoys the craft.
no, not even that.
No.
Just because I
You
try to
just
find flaws in every movie, so I can't even say that. You're the same way.
yeah.
Um, I guess I guess just I guess
You just
enjoys
watch
it. Yeah,
movies.
I guess you could say that. Just like enjoyment from watching movies, which is fun.
Yeah. So
Uh,
you wanna move on to
how we
how we
met?
met?
Oh, okay.
What do you have
Do
more
you
to
want to
say
start from your
about yourself?
perspective? I don't know. Do you have any questions about whatever?
You see, I don't at the
You
moment.
don't?
That's rough. No, I don't.
Oh, my animals. I have two African spurred tortoises, Izzy and
You,
Elliot.
you have a pig, right? Or no?
I have a pig,
Yes,
Petunia
you do.
pickle
Okay.
bottoms.
Jeez.
I have a eyelash crested gecko named Tink. Three dogs. Two are my grandma's that
It's
passed
remember to
away.
feed them all, because have you ever like forgotten to feed one?
Yes, but not usually the dogs, like just the tortoises, but they have
Mm-hmm.
grass outside. And they're also tortoises that hike like multiple miles to try to find food and go like days without food, but we try to give them food every day. We have two dogs, no, two little dogs and one Great Dane. All right. So anything else, William?
Not that I can think of.
All right. So you start with your perspective.
So, as much as I can remember, this was 4 to 5 years ago. You believe
Yeah,
that? That's
that's
crazy.
crazy.
So, we had the same science class. And I remember walking in, I would sit down. I remember you were sitting with Kalen.
No,
I'm not going to say like his full name. Um,
so I think, yeah, you were right. Maybe I moved and whatnot just because I got annoyed or something.
well, you see, what happened was I just remembered a bunch. So we were there. There was this place on like the other side of the room that like opened up, and it was a good spot. And the first thing I really ever said to you was, "Hey, Lincoln, you want to go sit over there?" And
Yeah, I
then
remember
we
that.
did. And then it kind of just went off from there. I remember we had like 3 classes that year that were the same, and
Hmm.
then we just kind of like became friends, because we had really common interests. We just didn't know it yet.
Yes,
And I know
that's
you told
true.
me that you would feel bad for me or thought I looked kind of weird.
No, that's not it at
for
all.
reasons.
I was just joking. Um, so I joke around with William. William's actually a pretty good person. I just think it's funny to make fun of him, which it is.
Well, one thing about me is like I don't know. tell me if you think this is true. But until you like get to know me, I may look maybe even scary. Because like I
Yeah,
don't.
William has like an intimidating like persona. I don't even know what it is. It's just like he's just kind of he's like the kid in the back of the class that's like you're like, holy crap, I don't want to mess with that kid. Like, like it's not like anything, but like William was like, hey, and I was like, hey, which this is really uncharacteristic of William. William usually go, hey, my name is William. William never does that. And for some reason with me, he's like, hey, my name's William. And I was like, I was Lincoln, which I'm usually the person that's just like, um, hey, I'm Lincoln, blah, 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 blah. Like, I'm not too out there, but I'm just usually the one who initiates that. And William actually is, which is kind of interesting. I haven't thought about that.
Yeah, I don't really do that. I wait for like it to go organic. Usually, like friendships.
Mhm.
Like I'm not gonna be overbearing in the very beginning. At least, I just kind of wait for stuff to happen. But I was like, you know what? In this class that we were in, I didn't really know. I mean, I knew some of the people, but I
I
didn't
didn't
have like
I didn't really
like good
know
friend in that
anyone
class.
either. Yeah, I didn't have one either. I was just kind of in it. So,
Yeah, so I was like, when I saw you, I was like, man, this guy's like an ideal friend for me. And I was like, let's gonna go for it. And I
I
just
haven't
went.
really heard of William, but
Side.
like, I think what actually happened, I'm not saying I'm like a nice person. I try to be nice, but like there was, I was like, I guess they had a friend group, right? And someone else walked in and they're like, hey, can I sit? Or, oh, I wish I could sit there or whatever. I was like, oh, okay, I'll find a different place to sit. And then like William said something. Was that
It's
what
probably
happened?
something like that. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, so that was really cool. Just because like I was like, okay, you can have that just because they were better friends and I didn't care. Um, but I think what really made like it's gonna be weird to say. Our William and I's friendship was really based on Star Wars initially
Yeah.
because I remember in specific, Soga, however you say it, it's easier to spell
The game.
SW, yeah, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
Yeah.
Um, it
I had the
William got
game,
me into
and I
that again,
yeah.
and so William and I were competing for a long time up until like senior year, halfway through it, trying to get different characters, and then we were both like, "Hey, this is just a pay-to-win game," I think, and
Well, I think it's
deleted it.
still like a good game though. I
Yeah,
recently hopped back on it, and I go on it occasionally though. But I'm not like
really.
in a guild or anything. I'm just chilling.
Um, I downloaded a different, like just sidetracking. I mean, the other one is like the same as Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. I just like hopped on it just because I didn't get to hop on Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes initially, right? So I
Mm-hmm.
was behind a little bit. But it's like Disney Sorcerer's Arena, and it's like the same exact concept with like Disney characters.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been playing that recently.
Well, you're a very big Disney guy in general.
That's true. I am a pretty big Disney guy. Just
Where
because
I'm more of like a guy who likes Disney property.
would that be fair to I don't so maybe I should tell the story about why I like Disney so much. We live in Florida. My grandma worked at Disney and blah blah blah, and we'd go there a lot. So that's why I like Disney. I used to get my hair cut at Disney, like when I needed a
Oh my!
haircut
I didn't even know they gave haircuts.
at the
Or
Magic
they cut
Kingdom.
your
Yeah,
head into a Mickey Mouse, like little ears or something.
no, this was back when they do my haircut and then they put mouse ears on the back of your head.
Oh,
And then they'd also put like this stuff called pixie dust, and it was like literally glittery Mickey heads and other sparkles, and they put that on the Mickey. So I just walked around Disney all day like that.
I didn't realize they gave haircuts. Yeah,
William is just astonished by the fact that
I really am, because I've never heard of that before. That's crazy. I remember I used to go to Disney a lot when I was little. Like, I got like those passes. Then my family just kind of stopped at one point. And we just
well, yeah, it used to be so much cheaper than it is now.
Yeah. I remember I was actually supposed to go to Disney this summer with my
Oh yeah, you were supposed to go
grandfather.
to
Star
Galaxy's
Wars.
Edge.
Yeah, there we go. Galaxy's Edge.
I went to Galaxy's Edge for my birthday.
Yeah. My
And I've
grandfather, I would have, but he's, old and stuff.
Yeah, so it's just like at risk.
I mean, yeah, he hasn't been there in like 20-something years. So,
Is that like the grandfather that looks like he could be like
Mafia.
Yeah.
The mafioso. Yeah. Real full-blooded Italian. Right there, man. Looks like he can break your kneecaps with just
Was he
his
actually
words.
part of that stuff? Like, was he involved?
No. He's a nice guy. I would never imagine him doing that.
I don't know, just like his looks.
He's a very educated man. I
Oh.
don't think he would be foolish enough to do any of that stuff. Because not to brag and humbly brag to you here. He's like a surgeon. He went to Yale. For sure, he's still doing stuff, but he's not like doing surgeon jobs.
Are you talking about going to Disney and seeing Galaxy's Edge anytime though?
We haven't actually talked about them at all, I don't think.
When you do go, if you do go, or when whatever, we need to have like an episode on it, just like talk about it, just because I want to see your opinion compared to mine, because I don't know, I don't know if yours is going to be different, to be honest, but it probably will be, because you're like, I don't know,
a more serious looker, a more
yeah, you're kind of a bigger
pessimistic
Star Wars fan than I am.
That's what you meant. Yeah.
That's
I
what
don't
I
know.
meant.
You're more of a Disney overall type thing, and maybe even like more of a superhero guy than me. Well, you're definitely more of a comics guy than me, for sure. But yeah, we met in a science class, and that class we both did not do good in.
No, we did not, and we both got the same grade on the final exam. So we were
worried. We did that 2 years in a row. We got the same grade.
Like
the same.
And we were in the same class and everything. We were sitting by each other. That was the problem. I was like,
well, it was like this. The first time in the first class, you and I were sitting next to each other, but like one of us finished the test like 20 minutes earlier than the other.
You did, didn't you?
I did. I think I did. And then we turned it in and we got the same grade. And then we're like, oh crap. She might think we cheated because we were sitting right next to each other. But like, we didn't get asked for cheating or anything because we didn't. But then the next year, we're in the same class again for science, and we didn't sit next to each other this time, did we?
I don't think so.
I don't think we didn't. Or we did. I mean, like, I don't think we did. We were sitting like back to back, I think. Is how that's.
No, you were at a different table. No, you were at a completely different table.
No, I mean, like, I was at like the table next to yours, with like our backs.
Yes.
Were to each other.
That class was kind of annoying, but
I mean, I always
wanted to work. I did too, but I always wanted to work with you. But like,
she'd make you work with her.
No, it's not that. I was just like, I was being like really nice, and because like a lot of the kids in that class didn't have like a hard work ethic. They'd be like, hey, can I work with you on the next thing? And I'd be like, sure. And then you'd come over and be like, hey, can I work with you? And I'd be like, I already promised them I'd work with them. And I felt so bad. Like, it's not like I didn't want to work with you. It's already like I told them I'd work with them because I wanted to be nice.
Yeah. But, for really all of high school, we've just been really good friends. And even after.
Mm-hmm. William's like the only friend I still text from high school.
I actually contacted a few people yesterday, so I was thinking about it. I talked to
I'll contact actually no, there's you and like another person. But you mainly, I talk to you a lot more.
Yeah, the same with that for you. I've been talking to a few people, but you're the one I mostly.
I'll check in on people like, hey, how's this, how's that? But other than that,
Yeah,
not really.
I just contacted like 3 people yesterday, and I had to like text conversations with a few of them.
It's so weird because it's like, what do you think they're doing? Like, it's so weird because some of those people, even though they're not directly part of your life, like they may not go to your house, but they were a big part of your life.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it feels like a lot of them just moved on,
Yeah, I
and it's just
know.
like, yeah, it kind of hurts, but you know what? I kind of did the same though because I didn't contact them until
That's
now.
true.
You know, we're like you and I think we're even though we're not seeing each other every day, we were a pretty big part of each other's lives. I
Yeah,
think.
we would talk a lot. We'd send each other YouTube videos. I wouldn't always watch them, but
You'd say you did.
no,
I
it's
even
just
like
like,
at some point asked you if like, did you really watch the video? Like I even
yeah,
test
it's
you.
just like I would open it, right? And then I'd be like, I need to watch that later. And then I'd like be like, you know how my mind works. It's just like, oh, then there's
Jump
this,
from one
then
thing
there's
to the
that.
next.
Yes, yes.
Very
Because
scattered brain, but that's
uh-huh.
okay though.
Oh, that brings me up to what's your personality type, William?
Oh shoot, man, I don't even
16
know. I might not be
personalities?
the same person
That's
anymore.
true.
Honestly,
You might not be.
we got to retake that for
Oh, we
like
can do that
next
for the
next thing.
podcast. Yeah, we
Yeah,
can.
next podcast we'll do
Um,
that.
okay. And then we'll tell you our personality type. You want to do 16 personalities or Enneagram?
We can figure it out.
Okay, we'll talk about it.
What's
Uh, if you have one you really like down in the comments, say take this one. Um, we can take the Mac IV test, like how selfish you are or how.
Oh yeah, we know how selfish you are.
I was like the
70
most
something, right?
selfish. Yeah,
Yeah, it's rough. I was like
but it's also
in the middle.
ambitious, like how ambitious you are compared to
Well,
other people too.
you're more selfish and ambitious than ever. I'm just joking. I
Yeah,
don't really see you as a
ambitious
selfish
person.
person.
Oh,
Oh, oh,
I
so you think you're
I
selfish, though?
think I think naturally I am selfish. It's just I try not to be. Like, does that make any sense?
Yeah, I see what you mean.
So it's like naturally my instincts are to be more selfish, but I have like gone away from that and become like I try to process it a little bit more so I'm less selfish.
So, you want to move on to the next topic of this day?
Oh, one more thing. We could instead of taking the personality test, we can take the Pottermore test too if you want.
Okay. I better not be
Okay.
Hufflepuff
You're a
anymore.
Hufflepuff for sure.
Uh, man. Okay, it's whatever. It's whatever. You know.
All right. All right.
So the
So,
next thing we're doing, you want to introduce it, Lincoln?
I think what we decided on is we're doing a.
Do you not remember?
So, I forget what the name of the thing is. Like, it's Bat in the Sun, right?
It's no, not Bad in the Sun.
What
Though
is
they
it?
are a good thing for that. We're doing the death battle.
Oh, the breakdown one where like they go, oh, this person has this person has that.
Yeah,
That
might want
one?
to skip that though, for time
Okay.
and then for also, I think we know the characters well enough.
All right.
Honestly, because it's the
So,
Winter Soldier versus Red Hood. You know.
okay. So, we're gonna watch someone's opinion on who would win in a fight. And do you want to give your opinion on who you think who would win in a fight?
I definitely think the Red Hood for sure.
So my thing is the Winter Soldier has like a vibranium arm, right? Or is it adamantium? Vibranium, right?
I think it's actually just like straight up metal. I think only in the movie one it's like something else.
But I know like his arm is like he can create like a shock from it. Like so he has like a I don't even know, it's just weird. He has like a weird ability where he can like tase people with his arm basically. And it's a super strong arm, but I will have to give it to Red Hood just because Red Hood seems more proficient with weapons and he was trained by Batman.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. Something
Alright.
weird going on. Give me a second. My
Well-
mouse isn't like showing up or two on the side. Are you ready?
I guess so.
Alright. So we'll skip through all the
Sidekicks. Every good superhero or world-conquering scientist needs one, right,
Uh,
Boomstick? That's
Are
right.
you seeing it?
Whose is this?
This is Death Battle. So Rooster
Yeah,
Teeth
but
and
by who?
Rooster Teeth and I think Screw Attack.
Yeah, you're right, and that was on the beginning. So if you guys want to watch the full video,
I'll put the link in the description.
you'll put the link. Ha.
Ha.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we're okay. Here we go. Alright.
What do you want, Bruce?
8 assassins from the League of Shadows were gunned down. 2
Great Batman voice acting.
Oh
and watch your bill
my
shrink to $35 a month after just 6
Can't
on-time
even
payments.
skip this ad. How
miles
evil.
from your current location.
Sounds like a party.
They were all shot with rounds from a modified M4. A gun I know is in your arsenal.
As much as I'd love to take credit for that
Is
one,
that a good Batman
it wasn't
movie?
me.
Don't lie to me.
It wasn't me, Bruce. But you know what?
I think so.
You can count on me to
Somewhat.
crack the case. In fact, I believe there's a bit of evidence that demands my attention right now.
Jason,
See what he looks like.
That's a cool costume.
Oh, I don't know.
Ah.
That face seems a little off.
It doesn't look like him, but that's a cool costume.
That is a really cool costume. Guys, like you said though, doesn't look like him.
Does not look like his gun. I have a feeling he's gonna lose.
I don't know. I think.
He has his helmet
And then-
off, that's why.
Oh yeah, he does have his helmet off. Oh man, look at this epic entrance. I don't know. I have to see.
Are these wooden tables?
Yes. It's gonna lower it a little bit.
That's pretty funny.
Oh,
No.
that's not. Before you took the mask off.
They
That was,
both look like older versions that have like let themselves go a little bit.
Yeah, somewhat.
Bar's closed.
That's so dumb.
What part?
Okay.
Oh, that's tiny.
I know, it looks weird.
Why is it so tiny?
I like how
I
he just
kinda-
keeps disappearing.
Yeah, I like that. So far, I think Red Hood is a much better design.
Yeah, I'm not liking.
The
I'm not
Winter
really
Soldier
liking the
design.
fight, to be honest. Like, it's
Really?
not.
You're not interested?
I'm liking it, but it's not accurate.
I mean, I think the knife fight part probably is, except
Yeah,
for I think Red Hood's better trained. Oh.
oh dang.
Oof. He should just. Without his arm, he should just get killed pretty easily.
Yeah. Oh no, a crowbar?
Oh. He's gonna go nuts, isn't he? No, definitely with the Joker.
He's not coming. No one.
Shut up!
Oof.
This is dumb.
It seems like they're under, like they just did that to make it so Red Hood wouldn't finish off.
Sorry, Bruce.
Oh, it's Venom, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, new actor. You see how much he bulked up.
Now you're dead.
Yeah.
Oh, even the guy's like voice is kind of like the Winter Soldier. Like if you listen to like his grunts.
Yeah. No, are you serious? Okay, cool. This fight should not be this long.
Oh,
What just happened?
This is Agent
he
Ball.
crushed his skull.
Target eliminated. Moving on.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Are you serious? I'm so mad about this.
KO! Oh, talk about a hit.
You want to hear their explanation?
Yeah. Sure.
These two were quite evenly matched. They both had wells of experience, similar
no.
arsenals, and an unparalleled drive to win.
They even had almost identical speed and reactionary feats, and Jason definitely had better stealth skills.
However, Bucky Barnes earned the edge in almost every other way.
Like how Red Hood had plenty of experience training with Batman and assassins, but Winty had decades of training on him with commandos, as the Captain's side piece, an emo assassin, and even as Captain America himself.
The Winter Soldier
See, I don't know. I think Batman's training.
Batman's training
trumps
is
all
way
that.
better than for real. And especially if you consider I think Red Hood's better with a weapon than
Yeah.
the Winter Soldier. I mean,
He's
Captain
def-
America's training, I mean, I know Captain America is kind of equivalent to Batman. Like they've done different martial arts styles and stuff, but Batman, I still think could be about Captain
I
America.
think what the difference is, Red Hood's better at hand to hand, like with weapons and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Winter Soldier's better with guns.
You
But
think?
for a lot of, I think with guns, yeah, he's
You
better.
think? I don't
But-
know, man. Just because the Red Hood is just always, I don't know.
Because I think he's definitely better close to
Okay,
like
long
with
range,
swords and stuff like that.
yeah. Winter Soldier has it, but
I mean,
up
with
close-
pistols, Red Hood probably.
up close
own it.
dual wielding, yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I think he's probably better with guns. I think I know why his gun blew up.
Why?
Like when because Winter Soldier, I'm pretty sure is this thing where his guns self-destruct if someone else uses it.
Oh,
And so that's
That's-
probably why. But that arm crushing his head at the end,
that's
I-
even. Mm-mm.
because literally he was punching Red Hood in the head, right, multiple times.
Mhm.
and that didn't even break the helmet. So you telling me squishing it is gonna destroy the helmet?
Yeah, that was kind of dumb. I would have definitely thought Red Hood would have won that.
I think the crowbar thing was cool, except they only used it to make it so Red Hood win-win.
Yeah, because definitely he could have like won at that point. I don't think the Venom thing was even needed. I think he actually had the Winter Soldier, like without the Venom, just because he's so like proficient in hand to hand. Like, the Winter
Mhm.
Soldier just is like often, though he is like pretty strong and whatnot with hand to hand combat, he relies heavily on his arm. Like he doesn't,
Yeah.
and if you take away the arm, then he's definitely done for.
Let's listen to the rest of their reasoning.
Okay.
Also had an edge in defense. His metal arm was able to shatter a knife on impact, but when Red Hood took a similar hit, his helmet cracked.
Red really didn't have any way to stop that arm for good, or Bucky's superhumanness. Sure, using Venom could even the playing field for a short time, but a brief power-up is nothing compared to a metal arm and the permanent Infinity Formula.
You know what song
And
they're
don't
using?
take Jason breaking Supergirl's grip out of
No.
context. She wasn't expecting the Venom,
Oh,
and they
never mind,
weren't
it sounded
even
like
fighting in the
something else.
first place. It's interesting, but not nearly as noteworthy as it sounds.
Yeah, we know for a fact Venom is a 10 times strength booster. There's no way Red could match a Kryptonian in a real brawl.
Red Hood was a deadly combatant, but the Winter Soldier one-upped him with superior experience, survivability, and a consistent strength advantage.
Looks like Bucky was the winter.
The winner is the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
I don't think these things are too accurate, to be honest, but
Probably not, but I mean, it was kind of a cool fight. The knife fight parts, anyways. And I
Yeah.
think the design of Red Hood was really cool. The Winter Soldier, his design was eh.
yeah, I didn't like the fight. That was dumb. That makes me upset. Why did you have to show me that?
It was needed, Lincoln.
Did you watch it beforehand?
No,
Oh, okay. So if you watched it beforehand, would we have watched it?
Mm, maybe, but only because of Red Hood's design. Just the rest of the fight, no, it wasn't needed.
Yeah. Man, it's just like, how do they determine like that he has the advantage? Like strength wise, yeah, with his one arm, but combat wise, they said Winter Soldier had the advantage or whatever. Like they were even. I disagree with that. That doesn't.
Yeah, that's not.
And
right.
tactically, maybe Winter Soldier has the advantage coming in, right?
Yeah,
But Red Hood tactically during a fight would have the advantage, you would think, right?
yeah, I would think so.
Especially if he has better stealth. Like imagine he could have just like disappeared and then shot him in the head when he wasn't looking.
I think Red Hood probably is better at stealth.
Yeah, they said that. And like how he disappeared all those times?
Yeah,
He could have
I
just
don't know why
shot
he
him
just-
then.
every time he disappeared and he reappeared, he was just kind of standing there.
I know, it was just dumb.
You could have just like shot him in the head from behind like that. You need to like present yourself.
Okay.
What do you think about the
and
Joker thing?
the Joker thing? I think it's dumb that every time something with Red Hoods and like in a form of media that they
There
always
just
have to
happened to
bring
be a
up
crowbar-
the crowbar.
crowbar
Yeah,
there.
like that's just dumb to me. Like, of course it happened. Like the fans wanted to kill Jason Todd because he wasn't a good Robin, but like it's just like a gimmick that's like old now,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
So we have like 15 minutes. Not 15, like 10 minutes left. What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I could show you the last time on the chat that didn't record properly. I actually showed links the Fate openings. I could show you just the like the 1 minute One Punch Man one.
What if
Go on.
we?
What do you want to do?
What if we did? Who would win a fight?
Okay.
So you come up with one character. I'll try to match it.
God, I'm just joking. Is it DC or Marvel Limited?
It's
Or is it both?
anything. Anything. Star Wars.
Oh, anything. So not someone too overpowered, but just someone that I think is cool.
Anyone. What about this? You name a Star Wars character, and I'll name a Star Wars character. Let's start like that.
Okay.
Obi-Wan.
Oh. Well, then I choose this kill. No, I'm just
Huh?
joking.
I knew you were gonna pick Obi-Wan. I was making fun of you.
No, I was actually not gonna choose Obi-Wan.
Oh, okay.
Are you choosing Obi-Wan?
No, I'll pick Mace Windu.
Probably. Like, if I had to choose a character, like that could beat them, or
Or
just choose a regular random character.
like that might be equivalent.
It might be equivalent. Equivalent to Mace Windu. A Jedi that's
There's-
not Yoda or Obi-Wan or Anakin. That's
Obi-Wan,
equivalent.
I would say, is equivalent to Mace.
Well, yeah, but he's like an obvious choice. I'm trying to choose something that's obvious. Honestly, I think Plo Koon.
Yeah, that's actually a really good pick. So, and then we're gonna pick another character from DC or Marvel that we think is a good matchup.
I
So I'm going to pick.
You don't know X-Men very well, right?
Like
So you
who?
probably wouldn't be able
Name,
to.
name
You probably
one.
wouldn't be able to say the like the extent of their power.
Okay,
like
so
Gambit.
name one. Yeah, okay. What type of Gambit
He's-
are we talking about? Are we talking Gambit where he has like part of his brain taken out, or are we talking like full level Gambit?
I'm talking about like the Gambit that's in like the old cartoon, like the '90s cartoon.
Oh, I
It's
don't
the
know about
90s.
the 90s cartoon.
Pretty much. Yeah.
We'll just say
superpowers, just
Gambit with part of
It's
his
not like
brain
super-
taken out so he can control his powers.
Okay.
I'll pick. So, I'll pick. Damien then.
Damien
So-
who?
Damien, Batman's son.
No way. Gambit would destroy.
Okay, Damien.
Destroy.
Damien and Mace Windu mix versus Plo Koon and Gambit
And
mix.
Plo Koon. Oh, for sure, Plo Koon and Gambit. I don't know what the heck you're talking about. Plo Koon would destroy.
Yeah, but
Plo Gambit versus Damien Windu. For sure. Plo Gambit would win.
I don't know, man. Just because like the martial art of it. I guess let me pick someone else. Who do you think would be a good match? Just because Gambit's not like any other character, really.
Yeah.
I guess energy projection. So let's go with. I don't know. The ones with energy projection powers
Oh wow.
are
Very
are
descriptive.
like. I know he doesn't have energy projection, but he can connect energy onto things,
You
right?
can take the kinetic energy and put it into other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
So basically,
then it
that's.
makes it explode.
I'm trying to think of who would be.
I'll be a guy. Someone who can use bombs.
Huh?
Someone that can use bombs. You know?
Hmm. What about this? Cyborg Mace Windu versus Plo Koon Gambit.
For sure, it would be Plo Koon Gambit.
What? No.
Plo Koon Gambit for sure.
Dude,
I
no
don't
way.
know what your cyborg crap's coming from.
Cyborg
There's
is.
no way.
Oh, no, you're underestimating Cyborg. I
Cyborg.
just realized I
what can
picked
you
like. I just.
can do
huh?
just like a boom tube.
No, that's
Shoot,
not
like,
it.
pulses.
You can like materialize
Hack stuff.
weapons.
And what's stronger than a lightsaber? Lincoln. You think they're gonna need to materialize any other weapon? Plo
I'm
Koon,
stuck.
I'm
I'm
Plo
stuck.
Gambit would just literally use his force to use kinetic energy on objects that he's throwing, so they explode on impact.
Yeah, but do you think he could? No, there's no way Gambit would. He would
Yeah, you
have
see,
the
you
ability to
see.
use kinetic energy on the Force. That's not how that works.
It's Plo Gambit, so it's Gambit. If Plo Koon,
So like a
and the
Force
rest.
push or like a Force throw.
Well, it's their force abilities mixed in with their immune ability.
Yeah, that's cool.
So, for your example, it would be like Mace Windu can make weapons and technology to himself. Like, he can just do that stuff. I guess he could teleport, but that teleportation's really, like, big. It takes a bit.
Yeah,
But,
I guess Plo Gambit would win.
Plo
You picked
Gambit's
just like a
horrible.
character I can't
There's
think of
no
a
one
proven
that
them.
no one can beat Plo Gambit. He can literally
I-
take objects and force judgment them with kinetic force. Okay, kinetic judgment lightning.
What about?
Invincible.
I don't even know.
Yeah, no, I think I just made the most immortal character.
No, you definitely didn't, because I could say
Plo
like
Gambit, man.
I was
Okay,
thinking
say
about
character.
making Mace Nova.
Mace Nova is so good.
No way, no way,
Yes, for sure.
no
for
way.
Plo Koon with Gambit would destroy Mace Windu with
Okay,
for sure.
comment
telling
down
you.
below. Who do you think would win, Gambit or Mace Nova? So that's Mace
Nova would
Windu
do.
and Nova
Nova
versus
would do.
Plo Koon and Gambit mixed.
Yeah. So, if you guys liked the video, make sure to like and subscribe. If you want to see more,
Comment down
Exactly.
below or like, I
Tell me.
guess.
Yeah.
If you
that's
want to
all we
see a
have for you
six,
today, guys.
so if you guys really want to see like a personality type, comment down below what personality type test you'd like to see. We can do which Disney princess is you. I guess that's not really a personality
Oh
type.
yeah, Disney
We can-
princess. I'm definitely Jasmine.
If you say it, we might do it. There's a possibility.
Hold on.
No way, you're just like, you'd be like
Mulan's my favorite
Vanellope
Disney
Von Schweet.
animated movie. I'm
We're gonna have to
very
talk about
upset
this
though.
another time.
Yeah, I know. And
How can
Uh,
you say something like that? I guess Mulan's pretty good, but okay. See you guys.
see you guys next time.